Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeleine and I am an Australian currently living in England. So as it is getting closer to 1 year of living in England, I thought today I would share some of the things that I wish I knew before moving abroad. These things aren't necessarily specific to living in England, it's just things that involve moving abroad. Hopefully they will help you if you're moving overseas. The first thing that I wish I had known was to bring more things than I thought to bring. Now, everything I read online was be minimalistic. Don't bring everything that you own with you. And while yes, it is nice to start fresh with a lot of things, there are some practical things that I wish I had brought with me that I just didn't. That might be practical for students moving for a short time, but when you are uprooting your life and moving abroad for the long term, hopefully, you want to bring more practical items. I listened to that advice and I kind of regret not bringing things that I would have found useful. They are still sitting at home back in Australia and they will be coming back with me when I next visit. Also, I think it's because people want to keep costs down, but the cost of sending stuff in a shipping container is a lot less than people think. I didn't pay a lot of money for my shipping container. I don't know the exact price off my head, but it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. Like furniture and stuff, I would say don't bring, but like smaller things that you own that have value, definitely bring those. Things that make your house a home and not an empty white space. The second thing that I wish I knew before moving abroad is that there is a lot more paperwork than I thought there would be. From doing all the pre-moving paperwork, filling out my shipping container, filling out a approval from the government to leave the country, to filling out my cat's information, then getting a VAT exemption on all my things that I brought with me. It was just a whole pile of paperwork, and then as soon as I got here there was more paperwork to do because you're essentially starting your life from scratch, and usually you would do all these things over a lifetime, but when you move to the country it will be everything you need all at once. I wouldn't suggest doing it all in the 1 week because that can be very stressful, so just space it out, give yourself a bit of time to process through all the paperwork that you need to do. Just take it one day at a time. Don't do it all in a week. The third thing is that it will definitely be hard at first. Things that are easy in your home country are not as easy in the new country. For example, my first time at a supermarket here was a bit daunting. I didn't know the layout of the supermarket. It is sort of similar to back home, but because I've never been there before, I was wandering up and down every aisle trying to find things for a basic shop. It just took a lot longer and it was a bit overwhelming because I didn't know which brands to go for and just took a bit of time to get used to it. But my second shop was a lot better because at least I knew where things were, kind of, and it didn't take nearly as long to do. Also, you're gonna have to prepare to ask a lot of questions because obviously you don't know how things work in your new country yet, sometimes you're gonna get funny looks like, how do you not know this? Normally they will understand because you're like, oh, I'm new, I have no idea. So when I called for a vet for the first time for my cat, I called up and I was like, hello, my cat needs her yearly vaccinations. We have just arrived in the country. How much will it cost? And the lady on the phone was selling me a vet plan for the cat, and I'm like, no, I just want to pay for a yearly checkup. And they're like, oh no, we don't do that. Surely you must be able to just have an appointment with a vet and pay for it. So we called another place. They do have a care plan there, but that's only if you want to go on it. It's not sold to you when you ring up. We picked that vet, but I was trying to Google while I was on the phone, do vets make you go on a health plan for your pet? These are the things that you aren't aware of when you arrive into the country brand new. Things do get a lot easier as time goes on, and once you've done things, it gets easier. I would suggest joining a expat group on an online forum or on Facebook. People who are going through the same thing as you, or people who have already done those things, will be able to help out if you have any questions that you feel a bit silly for asking anyone. And also just connect with the expat community as well. I would recommend joining one if you want, but you don't have to. The fourth thing is moving abroad is not going to fix your problems. If there are certain aspects of your life that aren't what you thought they would be, moving abroad isn't magically going to change your circumstances unless you work on them. So unless you are actively working on changing things in your life to make it better, nothing's going to change, and you're not going to have a really good time if you are expecting massive change without putting the effort in. Number 5 is you won't be exploring all the time. As much as I would love to travel every day, going up and down the UK and into Europe, it's kind of unrealistic to be wanting to travel so much because you need to work to travel, and also you get a bit tired from traveling so much. So you need to balance out your traveling, and sometimes after a week of work, the last thing you want to do is go anywhere. You just want to sit home watching TV, and that is fine. So I wouldn't say that I'm traveling any less than what I did in Australia. I think I'm traveling a little bit more, but that's because I enjoy it. I really like getting out into nature and going for walks, for hikes, and just exploring little towns because that's just what I do for fun. Also, on that note, don't wait around for people to travel with you. You can definitely go exploring alone. So if you're finding that you're wanting to go explore, go for it, go do it. You don't have to wait for anyone to travel with you. Just get out there and explore while you've got the opportunity. Number 6 is that moving abroad is totally worth it, and I wish I had done it sooner. I was thinking of moving abroad for a long time, and I had opportunities in the past to move abroad, but either I had commitments at home or it just wasn't possible for me to go at the time. And then the move to get here, it was a couple years in the planning, and then the pandemic added an extra year. As soon as you think about moving abroad, definitely do it because it pushes you so far out of your comfort zone. And once you've faced the challenge of rebuilding your life in a new country, other things don't seem as hard. That's an added bonus. So I don't feel like I am the same person who left Australia last year. I have grown so much as a person, and moving abroad gives you a bigger perspective on life. So if you want to move abroad, definitely do it, is my opinion. I know moving abroad isn't for everyone, but if you are keen to live somewhere other than where you live currently, definitely go for it. Why not? So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos about my life abroad, life in the UK, and just general travel. Again, thank you for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye.